not ready for us. The federal government had made promises to millions of us, but has not put money aside for their promises. The first of the baby boomers is still only 63 years of age. Either the baby boomers are not going to have the retirement that we hope to expect, or either our children are going to be hit with a tremendous high tax bill. I'm like most of you here today. I'm concerned for the children and the grandchildren because, as you know, we are working from January till about this time of the year to pay our taxes. I'm just feared for what our children are going to be having to work to. Are they going to have to be working to June, July, or August to help to pay our Social Security? The government has spent money it doesn't have and made promises it cannot keep. The trustees of Social Security estimate a current unfunded liability of $100 trillion. This is $100 trillion of any taxes that it's not got. Folks, I want to thank each of you for coming out today. We do need to be doing what we're doing today, thinking about the children and the grandchildren. And I want to thank you again for the great opportunity and the great turnout here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you.
Welcome the Town Hall Tennessee players.
Hello!
And I'm going to throw a quick plug in. Don't forget we're on from Monday to Thursday, Liberty Radio, Talk Radio on 1070 AM from 4 to 5. Remember that. Call in Liberty Radio.
Don't clap, just throw money.
All right. Welcome to the Tea Party special edition of The Apprentice. I'm your host, Greg. That's the Greg. Juster. With us today are two people who do not need any introduction. They're famous royalty, if you will.
We're from Washington.
But I'm going to introduce them anyway. From the left side of the aisle.
I'm a big spender and proud of it.
From the right side of the aisle.
Read my lips. I'm a big spender too.
Just don't look at how he votes. Gentlemen, it's a great responsibility that we give you. But based on your performance, we're not sure you really understand what you're supposed to be doing in D.C. You know you voted for unethical spending bills to bail out companies that don't need it or shouldn't have it. And basically, only the front row saw that. You guys got that joke. Okay, basically you've put America in debt. And by the way, there's a young man with a sign here that says he's $32,000 in debt already. Where is that young man? Would you come up here and show, come up here, young lady. This is what these two people have done. Let me have that sign. This young lady has got this sign, and this is the best sign in the entire program. There you go, young lady. Okay. Basically, you've put America in debt for the next few generations. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, Greg, it's a very complicated issue. I mean, it's not as straightforward as you're making it sound. There are a lot of things that just aren't that simple in politics.
No, I'm sorry, you're wrong. It's you that don't understand. You see, we're the boss. We're the taxpayers. Not the lobbyists. You're supposed to be working for us. You're wasting our children's money. You're just passing the buck so you can look good now, regardless of the consequences.
Greg, you're just not smart enough to manage your own money, though. I mean, we can do it better than you can.
It's not your money, it's ours. You must send it all to Washington, and we'll send some of it back to you.
You're just not smart enough to spend your own money. I mean, we can help you spend it, too.
And get this, Mr. Curlyhead, you're not smart enough to run your own life. We can run it for you. And the question is, who are you to question our integrity? Why? We're public servants. We're doing this out of the goodness of our hearts.
Because we care.
We care. Never mind that we get rich after getting elected, and never mind besides, if you don't like us, just vote us out. Just because the system is rigged for incumbents, and we have made it impossible in the process and too expensive for most people. We've got to tax you, tax you. We've got to tax you, tax you.
Join in.
To tax you, tax you.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
The Washington, D.C. song. How many of you know that song? All right, everybody. They like to tax us, tax us. They like to tax us, tax us. They like to tax us. Tax us, okay.
We call that the Washington,
Crowd,
D.C. rap.
We've got one thing to say to you. You're fired. You're fired. That's all we need to do. You know, folks, I got to tell you, I said this early, those of you who were here when we were doing our radio show, in the beginning, no matter what Washington takes, they're never satisfied, are they? No, they're never satisfied. You know, they remind me of my grandmother. My grandmother, no matter what she got, no matter what she did for her, she was never satisfied. And I'll give you this as a story to explain it. You see, when my grandmother was 68 years old, she's passed away now, but she used to go to Miami Beach every winter, and I have a son, and when he was 4 years old, I sent him down to Miami Beach in the winter, and they had a great time. And every morning at 6 a.m., they'd walk along the beach, and they'd be having a good time. He'd have his little hat on, walking back and forth. One day, while they're walking, this wave comes, grabs my son, and drags him out to the ocean. Well, my grandmother doesn't know what to do. She's 68 years old. She can't swim. She's walking up and down the beach. Help, help, help. What do I do? Finally, in desperation, she looks up at God and says, God, please help me. Like a miracle, the next wave comes by, deposits my son right at her feet. She looks up at God. She looks back at my son. She looks back at God. Hey, he had a hat. Never satisfied. Folks, you can't let this stop. I got to tell you that the politicians in D.C., on the state level, and in our local government, they don't care about this tax protest. You know, there's a lot of people here, they figure you're one and done. It's what we do after this that matters. Thank you all for coming.
Hello, everybody, and my name is Rhonda Thurman. Well, I just want you to know I'm just real excited to see all of this red, white, and blue. But, however, on tax day, I think the colors black and blue would be much more appropriate, don't you? Well, last week I had lunch with my 8-year-old nephew at North Hamilton County Elementary. As I looked across the cafeteria at the room full of third graders, I thought these poor, innocent children have no idea that while they're sitting around eating lunch, talking about baseball, softball, and recess, a group of irresponsible politicians are mortgaging their future. They're making these children and millions more like them be responsible for a debt they did not create. Elected officials at every level are asking taxpayers to do something they themselves will not do. That's live on less money. They ask us to do that all the time, but yet they're never willing to do it. Arrogant politicians ask us to sacrifice while they continue to get raises, have the Cadillac of insurance policies, and retirement package the private sector cannot afford. And they're all paid for by you. How many thank you cards do you get from your politician? None. Jay Leno compared the current economic climate in Washington to the new White House pet. He said the Obamas were not worried about housebreaking the new puppy. He said they were just going to leave the mess for the future White House occupants to clean up. That is exactly what we're doing. We're expecting children to clean up a mess that has been created by a bunch of adults. Having this crowd together to stop the current fleecing of taxpayers and their children, well, it does my heart good. However, it will take more than one tax rally to stop this madness. It will take a commitment at ballot boxes on election days all across this country. If all of the people attending all of these tea parties across America would take a pledge to vote against any candidate from the courthouse to the White House, whether they are Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, or Independents, who think the answer to the out-of-control spending in Washington is to spend more money. Ronald Reagan said it best. There is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they will not advance. Well, I personally think we have paid enough, and I think the government has advanced past the point allowed them in the Constitution.